Hello folks, and welcome to the channel. Welcome back. And this is a short video where we're going to look at the barn renovation started in 1996 and finished in 2025. And no, yes, that sounds crazy, but that's how long it has taken me on this farm. Because when I got the farm, and you see some old pictures here, it was really run down. There was absolutely nothing that was still in a decent condition. So I had to work all around the farm to get things done. And of course, like anything else, the first thing you want to do is to make sure that your roofs are fixed, that you don't get water damage anymore, because we got quite some of that. And you can see the barns, they looked really bad. Even the attics, the rafters were no good. Really, in fact, I should have torn it down completely. But I decided not to because I'm kind of a nostalgic guy and I wanted to preserve an old building. So we're going to focus right now on that one specific barn. And here it is. So as I said, the first things we were doing is to fix that roof. We got the rafters renewed. And here you see the old rafters, and they are kind of really rotten. The tiles are already off because I recycled all the old clay tiles. A lot of cleanup to be done, but little bit by little bit we got all the rafters in the roof replaced, and we could start really with putting up the new tiles or the cleaned up tiles. And on the gatehouse we had additional work to be done. And here you see it, we already have a nice subroof. We got all new lats. We got then the tiles cleaned up and sorted out and checked out. And here we're installing the slates, natural slates, onto the roof of the gatehouse. Quite a tedious job to do. I couldn't do it. And this is not me. This is somebody that I got hired to do, because that is really professional work. In fact, they are cutting the tiles or the slates on the roof itself with a special hammer. It is really a very demanding profession, and you have to be a specialist to do this. There's no way that I could do this. So now we are ready in the year 1997. By the time the roof was done, we were putting up the gutters and the pipes, and everything is in zinc, where we are soldering things together. Not like today where we just click things together, often plastic. No, this was really done the old way. And here you see the barn really been finished in terms of and now roof. We do a fast spin forward to 2025. Time to get the barn sorted out at the inside by pouring a concrete floor. Now meanwhile, of course, I've not been sitting still. We've been rebuilding the farm all around, all the roofs. And this is the inside view of the barn we're gonna work on. It's gonna take a bit of cleanup. I got a lot of building material inside, so I had to drag all that out and place it somewhere else. I never throw anything away because I still have a lot of other renovation work to be done. So once everything was dragged out, I could now start to do the big cleanup and remove some of the other parts that were still inside. We had some parts in there that we were used to separate the horses from each other. And like anything else, there's always surprises. There was a tunnel underneath the floor, and this was used for ventilation, as this used to be a potato barn. Some beams were damaged, and these metal bars you see here were used to keep the walls together, because this was a potato barn and they were piling it up to the roof, and that would push open up the walls. So these things were important. And here you see that air tunnel. So I filled it up with bricks that I had and just some cement and sand and light concrete, just to make it smooth and even, because after all I would still pour a brand new concrete on top. But before pouring the concrete floor, it was time to shot blast the walls, and I kind of shot blasted it with Garnet 360, and then I also cleaned it up with some high pressure air, not destroying too much, trying to keep as much as possible things original, not blowing the bricks away. But also I wanted to clean up the ceiling and of course leveling out the floor level wherever the bricks were sticking out, because otherwise that would be a problem. I painted all the metal bars with anti-rust paint, after it was shot blasted because I want them to last a long time. And then we had to do some repair work on the roof. And by the way, you can see all this in detail on my YouTube channel. Each and every job we've done here with lots of explanations. I'm bolting basically everything together with spag screws all the time. I seldom use nails. And I think these spag screws are really good. So here I'm kind of enforcing the roof wherever I needed to enforce it, because this was the right time to do it. So after quite a lot of work, it was all cleaned up and fixed. So we were ready for the concrete. And the concrete will be poured. So the first thing that goes on the floor is a plastic shield. On the sides, on the walls, we have some foam for the expansion of the concrete, because it will expand, shrink,
Once that was
and
done,
expand. And then we place some concrete blocks so we can put the steel nuts on top of that, so the cement or the concrete can flow underneath. You bind them together, the nets, and then this was ready for pouring. Early in the morning, I got a couple of trucks coming in and a pump, a cement pump, because otherwise they couldn't pour the concrete inside the barn. It's pretty heavy stuff, and I think we had about 5-6 people. Now the concrete mixer kept running. The guy, was constantly wetting the slide, and then it pours into the pump. And then the pump is going to pump it onwards over the tubes towards the barn. Now these tubes had their best time, I think. But okay, it's a heavy job, this one. And so I was helping out a bit while I was not filming. But these guys are real pros, you can tell they are really used to that. They know exactly what to do. It's amazing how quickly these guys can work. But of course, they do that every day. And this is a mix that goes on top of it, so they can actually polish it, and it's going to be very hard. Polishing takes a couple of hours, and this is just the first run. And when all that was done, I had to create a new gate because that plastic couldn't stay there. So I got some nice beams and decided to build the gate myself. Let's put them in through the planer, thickness and flatness, and then of course here we go again with my favorite screws to put it all together. Now, as the door that was on there, or the gate, was having huge hinges on the wall, connecting points, I had to reuse the old hinges. But some of them were broken, so I had to weld them back up again and then paint them so they were good again. So here I'm starting to build actually the door or the gate. I've done it all in place because otherwise I couldn't lift the darn thing, because I don't know how heavy that gate is at the end. You can see it was still nasty weather outside when I did this. But still, it's a lot of fun. Now, as the top of the gate is not straight, I had to cut the corners. Just enforcing the gate, and I'm slowly building up little bit by little bit. And again, as I said before, you can see all this on my YouTube channel. Now the gate has been there now about a year, and it's still rock solid, as you can see. There's a lot of wood on it. But I still had to create something in the back of the gate so it wouldn't, go all the way through. So I decided to put a wooden beam there, and to put the beam up, I'm using some 2-component cement really to put that bolt in there, or the threaded stud, so I can put that support that I made on there, and onto that one I can then put the beam. And this is a beam actually to support the gate in the back. I also used the old locks that I recovered from the old door, because I do like this old stuff. Of course, I shot blasted it and I painted it. And here you see an example on how everything is kind of built. And now it was time to skin the door. Now, skinning the door is Easy to do, but you need to cut out the edges so you have a smooth edge on the ends of the wood. So you always need to work out a bit where the plank should stop and start. And these planks are teeth and groove, and you can see here I'm ending up with a small part, and you need to measure it out a little bit. And here we're finishing off that actually gate. And trimmer wood is pretty good wood. It's pine, which is specially dried, and it's going to last a long time. So the gate, well, it opens and closes very smoothly, and here you can see how we open and close it. And now you have an inside view on how that floor looks like. It's still wet because I just had it cleaned up. And that's it. That's the inside of the barn. But of course, there is a bit more work to it because I need to be able to get in the barn. And as we poured concrete, it's now higher up. So I had to create a slope on the cobblestones. And I'm not really so keen on placing cobblestones. It's a hard job to do. I'm just putting up a fence, let's say, so I have the right slope. Going to mix my sand, rough sand, and my cement, and then I'm going to start placing the cobblestones in there along a wire because I am no pro. And here it is, all done. I just need to fill up the joints, and we are almost done for the barn. But there's one more thing we really need to do, and that is to close up the gatehouse ceiling, because the ceiling of the gatehouse is having access towards the barn, so that was still open. So I used some R&D wood to place that ceiling up, but I had to put some extra rafters up, and as always on old houses the rafters are not straight, so I had to make some corrections to that. I have been nailing and screwing the correction panels, but you can't see it from below. And here we go, nailing everything up and then aligning it, and here it is, all finished. So thank you for watching this video, as this was just a summary, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.